Is it possible to be a worship leader at two churches?
For the record.
Welcome to the Worship Leader Hangout podcast. I am so glad you're here listening to this today. I actually have a friend of mine in the studio. David is not here today, but I have none other than my friend Kevin Pickens right here in the studio today. What's up, man?
What's going on, bro?
It's good to be here with you. I'm glad you're here for real.
I'm glad to be here.
We haven't really had a podcast with other people ever.
Okay.
So you're like the first one.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah,
That is dope.
You're the first one that we've been able to just sit down and have a regular worship, like with the music. It's just been me and David.
Dope.
So anyway, I'm glad you're here. For real.
I feel honored. I think you told me that, but I forgot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that you haven't had anybody.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, his seat in the podcast, that's hard to fill.
Yeah, it is. He's a bad dude.
Yeah.
He is.
So he's actually moving to a new house, and then he was out of the country for a little while. So
Gotcha.
He'll be back on the next one, but
Gotcha.
I don't know what we'll talk about. But today, we're talking about what I said in the intro. You have, it's kind of weird because I normally look this way and look at David because he's in Texas. How many churches are you at?
So right now, physically me leading, I'm at one place.
One church. But
I kind of oversee a few within their worship areas. So yeah.
Now, is this a business that like churches can kind of tap into?
It is.
Okay. So talk about that, like if you're able to.
Yes. So I've always been passionate about not just my church, but helping churches, being involved with churches of different denominations, races. That's always been like my passion. Mm-hmm. So even when I was at churches full time, where I was just at one location, I always did things where I could go out and be a part of other ones. And sometimes that can be intimidating for leaders.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I always have to be clear and like, hey, I'm not going anywhere. This is just what I'm passionate about, the big church, the kingdom. So after my last job in a full-time position, when I left that situation, I said to myself, I don't want to be on full-time with the church, but I know that I'm still called to worship, called to the church. So Holy Spirit was like, hey, start a business.
Yeah.
Start a business or a ministry. So I'm like, I don't know. You have all these doubt that creep in. So I did it. And well, before I actually launched it, I was already helping like several churches. So I was just like,
so you left the full-time position.
Correct.
And then you had started kind of helping some people out here and there.
Yes.
And we're not going to talk about this in the podcast today, but you left on negative terms.
Correct.
So it wasn't like, oh, everything's great, I'm leaving.
Yeah, no.
So you probably had a little bit of, maybe not the right word, but it might be, but animosity toward the local church for maybe a few, but still was able to, even through some hurt and pain, you were still able to help out other churches.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. So
that's a testament right there, a testimony right there.
Yeah, because it took a while to get back in it.
Oh, I bet.
It took a while, but it was still my passion, regardless of the people that hurt me or ministry. I still knew that it was something that I loved and I was passionate and called to. So I was helping a few churches, and I was just like, just Holy Spirit, just start a business.
Yeah.
So I did it, and like one of the first ones that I talked to, they were like, "Where have you been for the past
really
3-4 years?" I was like, "Whoa!" So after that first one, God just began to open up doors for me to go to like a whole lot of different places. So basically, what we do is a multifaceted model.
Yeah.
But what I'm doing at the church where I'm leading actually is I'm acting as their interim worship leader. So, like some churches have interim pastors.
Yeah.
It's basically like an interim worship leader. I'm filling a spot for them until they find someone that can come in and be the full-time worship leader.
Yeah.
And then we have churches where maybe they have a worship leader already, but they need development within their team, whether it's musical, leadership, structure. So we'll come in and just provide strategies for growth, like intensive training with no heart or idea of taking over that place.
Right,
But just
right.
equipping.
Because they already have somebody.
They already have somebody.
Maybe part-time.
Right. Or in some cases full-time.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And we're just strengthening the team.
Using your experience, though.
Yes.
That they may not have a lot of experience or.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. So I love it.
Yeah, I bet. It is hard to wrap your mind around.
Yeah.
And I bet you have to go into the conversation with the pastor like, okay, this is my goal, or this is my model. This is how I do things. And they have to be okay with, okay, well, yeah, he's an interim worship pastor. And you are going to get that church to a point where you can head out. Are you in the process of trying to find a worship leader for them, or are they in that process?
So there are two things that can happen. I can try and do that, or I'll just communicate it that, hey, you guys still need to be on search for your own worship leader, because I'm just filling a spot. You know what I'm saying? So
well, you're not just filling a spot, you're helping develop the team.
Right, yeah.
And get them to a level where the next guy comes in and is able to take it even further from there.
In many cases, though, they get so comfortable and they forget about we need this position filled. And I'm like, hey, guys, at the end of whatever, you need to have someone, because I have somewhere else I have to go and help or whatever. So
it's kind of like and this could be its own podcast, but it's kind of like the conversation of what is the pastor doing in the meantime, even with a current full-time worship leader?
Yeah.
Do they have other people that they can call on if that person is they just check out?
Right. Yeah.
And just keeping somebody in mind. Like, okay, well, if my guy, and we have a long-standing relationship, we have, everything's great. Right. But if he died or straight up left or did something, not moral,
right,
and you had to get rid of him, you got to have somebody in place.
Right. Yeah.
So in your position, that's not, you are an interim, so they need to be working on that.
Right.
Hopefully monthly at least.
Yeah.
Just something.
Yeah.
But this is not necessarily about that side of it. This is about your side. So when you're in that position, so what's the dynamic like with volunteers then? Are you, because I know I've gotten to a point where it's like family at my church, and so do you still kind of approach it in the same way? Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And one of the things that I do when I'm going in for a long-term stay, meaning if it's going to be 3 or 6 months.
Church Airbnb.
Right. When I'm going in for a long-term stay, if it's a one-time thing and I'm doing a weekend workshop, that's different. But if I'm going in for 3 or 6 months, I let the pastor know, hey, what's your budget for us to be able to just take the whole team out and just have a day where we spend time together, get to know each other, because that's important to me. Relationship over stage has always been my thing. So I'm big in relationships, big in developing, getting to know their stories, all that stuff. So that's really important to me, because when you have a relationship with people, they're able to take your constructive criticism much better. They're able to go an extra mile, work harder, because they know where you're coming from. So it's very important for me with relationship.
That's good. And what about the churches that you're not at every week, but you're just more or less there to kind of the same sort of situation, or teaching them to be that way, maybe?
Yes. For some places, it's very small churches, so it's just independent people going in and not working with a team and just leading independently.
Okay.
So for a lot of churches, that's the setup. But for other churches, yes, the same thing, relationships.
Yeah. That's good. And that's important too, just in general, as a worship leader, to keep solid relationships, as solid as possible with your people. Because you want them to be able to have your back when you're going through something. Times are hard, and and it just not be a relationship based on what you do on stage.
Right. Yeah.
And that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, regardless of whether you're temporary or not.
Right. Yeah.
And what is temporary? Is it like 3 months, 6 months, a year?
Honestly, it depends on how critical the work is.
Yeah.
'Cause the project that I'm on right now, it was pretty critical.
Okay.
So 2 months or 3 months wasn't gonna do it. It was gonna have to be a longer length of time to get the team where it needed to be. Because I had a conversation with a buddy, and I was just actually one of my friends who lead at one of the churches. I called him. He's like, "Yeah, what do you need?" I was like, "I was just calling to tell you thank you. See how you're doing." And he was like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "Worship is so important." He's like, "It's so hard to be at a church and the music isn't good."
Wow.
It's hard. It's hard to grow at church if the music's not good. So I forgot what you even said. But anyway,
Like your length of time and
yeah. So if you go in somewhere where the skill set is not there, it's gonna take a little bit longer to get them to where they need to be. And you may go in somewhere where they have all the pieces, but say the leader isn't quite there.
Okay.
That'll make it an easier, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Easier experience. So
I don't know how the churches where the leader's not quite there. It's like how do they not just get rid of that person?
yeah.
Like I don't know. I mean, and it is the church, and maybe we're not as quick to fire
Yeah.
as
I
we
think so.
probably should be in some
I think
cases.
so.
But it's like, man, get them out of there. Get somebody
Right.
that cares.
I was
But
talking to one pastor, and they were like, the worship leader has an amazing heart, a pastoral heart, but he just isn't there when it comes to the music.
really,
He's like, I wish he was a butthole because then I could fire him. He's like, but he's the most amazing person.
and he probably schedules, and he probably relates with his team. And
Right.
He's just not there musically.
Yeah.
That's the hard. That's actually probably the most difficult part of my job is. But I think it's easier to just address that issue as separately,
Right.
And just say, "Hey, I want to get you trained,"
Exactly.
and that tells them, "Okay, I'm not the level that they want me to be right now." And I mean, this might be a quick lesson for you as a worship leader if you're listening with team members that aren't quite good. That they may have been ready for that song in your audition, but then you get them in all these other songs. You're like, where did that come from? And
Right.
I'm not talking about a good where did that come from.
Right. Yeah.
How are they so terrible?
Right.
Well, you start saying, hey, I would like for you to come listen to your recording, and we can talk about things you need to work on.
Yep.
I need to work on things? Yeah, you need to work on things.
Yeah.
We all need to work on things. And
Absolutely.
I'm doing this with specific people that really need to work on things. And
Right.
I'm here to help you. And if they're unwilling to do that, they sometimes just eliminate themselves.
Yep.
But if they are willing to do that, then you have a much stronger team member going forward.
Yeah.
And I had to do that just recently, and I need work. Everybody needs work.
We all do. I do.
But it's when you love that person or when you genuinely care for your team and that person, you're just like, I want them here. And I want this person here.
Right. They don't see it as a threat when you've made the relationship.
Right. And I want them here, so I want them better because I
Right.
want to continue to elevate what we do.
Right.
Not just for more money, but God calls us to bring excellence to Him, and if we can bring more excellence, let's do it. Why not?
Yeah.
And so we just got to keep making ourselves better, and that's what that's the culture I try to build within our team is like, let's keep trying to be better. Okay, I don't ask you to be perfect. I ask you to be excellent, but we're still going to try to make that excellence level better.
Right.
That's
I like it.
And then the people that aren't willing to or just not in that camp, they're just like, I'm just trying to sing. And it's like, oh, you could try to sing from the audience.
Right.
No, or most of the time, I haven't really had to say that, but most of the time they'll just go, it's just not for me.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh man, okay.
Okay.
So, oh dang.
Are you sure? No. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's an easy let go, but it's still like, well, I don't want that to continue to hurt the team and to show that we're not willing to grow and be excellent. So it is an easy like, oh, okay, well, I understand.
Yeah.
If you need anything, let me know. If you want to come back on audition again, let me know.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's weird. It's awkward, but yet it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Have you had to onboard people in this situation?
You mean from within the
like
ministries?
in the one that you lead at every week? Have you grown the team or like pulled on people? So you're the full blown. I'm gonna onboard people and this and that.
Everything.
Man, that's gonna suck when you leave and the new guy comes in and they're like, Kevin did it this way.
Yeah. But what's cool is the guy who was leading before is actually their executive guy.
Oh, okay.
And he's still a part of the team.
Oh, okay.
So he's now just playing
so
an
it's
instrument.
not like he just left or whoever just left and you're kind of picking up pieces.
Right.
They're really just trying to grow.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Yeah, but he was just filling in as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they need a guy.
They need
Or a girl.
Yeah.
They need a person to get in there and throw down.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're just kind of getting the team ready. And that's good.
Yep, getting the team
So
ready.
if you are a guy or girl, and I mean, if you are somebody that can lead worship, you have a great voice, because he has an amazing voice. So you're going to have a great voice going into this job. You are in the Greenville area or want to be, hit us up.
Yeah.
There might be some
For
possibilities for you at a church. We're not going to say the name of it right now.
Yeah. And even if you're in the area and there are other churches I'm working with that need people.
True. Yes.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
There is work out there for worship leaders.
There is, yeah.
And
there is.
you have to, I guess you have to be willing to go, oh, maybe I'm not quite at the level yet for Elevation or whatever other church.
Right.
Like you got to be willing to be humble and take a step back and go, this local church has a body of believers that need Jesus, first of all, but they need some talented people.
Right. Yeah.
And not that I came into my church as like, I'm the best, I'm going to come. No, I mean, I came into my church like, oh gosh, how can I help?
Yeah.
But just being willing to, like, I want to help. I want to be something better for them and build this team and make it as best as I can. And when you go in with a humble attitude, it's so much more fulfilling and rewarding than trying to get the free chapels and the elevations and all the other big churches out there, which, I'm like, oh, dang. But I'm not going to, I would never go there and give back the time that I've had here. Like no. The last 9 years have been incredible.
Yeah.
I've learned so much.
And I feel like smaller beginnings equip you for the Forest Hill, for the Elevation, for those bigger platforms,
Yeah, for sure.
Because I started off in a church plant.
Okay.
And you have to learn everything because you're everything.
Yeah, you are.
You know what I'm saying?
In some ways, I'm still, but I'm putting people in place so I don't have to. I haven't made a light show, and I can't tell you how long.
Hey, come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's cool. You start to develop people and look at the younger people too coming up and being like, he's annoying right now, and I can't barely stand to be around him, but God's going to use him.
Yes.
And I'm going to develop
in an area that's going to be very far away from me.
You never know, man. He might be right beside you all the time. And you might develop I'm going to use, and I know he's going to listen to this, so I'm going to use Michael as an example.
Okay.
I mean, he and I had no relationship when he first started, like for the first 2 years. Like,
really? Wow.
He was just that kid, that was David's brother, And as I got to know him, I'm like, man, he's really got some giftings.
Wow.
God really has put some knowledge in him. Like he's very detailed in what he does, And so when he was called out, I know this guy came to our church. He's like, he just spoke into his life, We believe in the prophetic, and he was speaking into his life as far as like things that he's heard God say about him, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And when they said stuff about him leading worship potentially in the future and developing that side of him, like I was like, oh my gosh, I see it. and he had already started working in that direction, but more on the production side. Like he can run anything production.
Wow.
But now he's starting to really come out as a worship leader. And,
Yeah.
his vocals are getting better because he's working at it. His guitar playing's getting better, and so it's just really cool to see him grow and be something more than just some kid that thought he knew how to play the piano.
Right. He started off on piano?
He's been in band and stuff. A similar beginning as me, like band.
Okay.
And, kind of working his way up that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, he'll be a piano player one day.
Got you.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
He wants it.
Yeah.
And I know if he wants it, he's gonna get it.
Gonna get it. Yeah.
Yeah. He's already getting pretty decent on guitar, so
Dope.
yeah, he'll get it. And it takes time for some people to get great at multiple instruments.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Me too.
So, with all that said, what's the next step? Like, let's start here. How do people get into something like what you're doing?
Do you mean doing this within their own community?
Yeah, within their own community. How to
Just do it.
Yeah, so you say just do it, but then it's like, well, they're
Okay.
part-time somewhere, or maybe they're not even a worship leader yet. Like what give them some practical things?
Okay, some practical things. If you're not a worship leader yet, and you've never led worship, if you're at a church, you should probably start talking with the worship leader and seeing how you could maybe intern.
Yeah, you need to be in that worship leader's face at all times.
You need to get some exposure in that world, in that environment. So that's step one.
So say you're past that. Say you're at the point where you've led worship in a church. You've developed vocals. Like you're good.
You're good.
You're a musician. You can play something. You know a little bit about tech enough to get you by anyway. Yes, you've led worship, but you're like, all right, I'm ready to have that job. Maybe you went to a worship school or something like that, and maybe what you're saying appeals to them right now.
Okay.
It's like, so after you left that church, like how did it, I know a lot of it was probably organic, but what else?
So I got a hold of a good friend who was, because it's natural business. So I had to do everything, the proper channels, like with LLC.
Okay, so it's a legit business.
Business. So because you're going to be getting paid for this, so you're going to have to make sure you're doing things right. So LLC, you want to get a logo, a name, a brand, all of that stuff, so that when you're going to these ministries, you have something to present that says, hey, I'm legit, I'm professional, I'm passionate, I'm skilled. You're going to need to be able to share things with them, like you leading worship, or if there's music you've produced or written, you're going to need all, because this is your portfolio that you're presenting.
Portfolio. I wish we had a Squarespace sponsor right now, because this would be a great time to insert that.
Yeah.
Never mind. Anyway, so make a website.
Yeah, make a website, which I am in the process of.
Oh, really?
But I have Facebook, Instagram, music on.
You need a website. Like
I do.
Keep working at that, because that'll be a big deal.
Yeah.
KevinPickens.com. I don't know what it'll be.
But
can you say your business
yeah,
name?
Joint Heir.
Joint Heir. Okay.
Joint Heir, like we're joint heirs with God.
Yep.
So it's Joint Heir Group.
It's not an airline.
It's not an airline.
You're gonna get that.
So you can look it up on Instagram or Facebook, and it's on there. But so you'll need all that good stuff. Once you get your name, go reserve that domain. Go get your Google email so that you can do business on there.
Yeah.
All the proper channels to let people know that, hey, I'm serious, I'm professional.
Yeah.
You know.
No, this is not a sponsor by any means, but Squarespace actually is really good for that kind of stuff, because you can make. What do you use
For what?
for websites?
Well, I don't have one yet.
Okay.
I have my domain. I haven't had it built yet.
Okay, so for real, check out Squarespace, because Google and all that is built in, so you can have a Google Suite
That's what I have.
within Squarespace as well, and you can pay for it all through there.
Oh, no
I
way.
don't know,
Okay.
whatever you.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Just look at it.
Yeah, I have Google. Is this what it's called? Suite for like the business?
Yeah, it's a business
I have that.
suite.
Mhm. Yeah.
Anyway, Squarespace is good. I know there's a ton of other ones out there, but the other big one is Wix, and
Yeah. Okay.
I can't remember the name of another one, but I've only used Squarespace.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
I can only speak to that.
Okay. I'll check it out.
I think you need one for sure, just
Cool.
to be able to be like, go to
Yeah.
Joint Heir. Is it jointair.com?
That group.
Oh, jointair.group. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
It was available, so I was like, hey, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
easy to get domains. I mean, unless it's not available.
Yeah.
Then you just got to
Exactly.
go with something else.
Something else.
Yeah. But there's lots of like .lives, .group,
Yep.
all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
So you can get something. So you established the business, and then did you reach out to the churches?
I did.
Okay.
I did. With my email that I got with my Google
Yeah.
Suite,
Yeah.
you know, I just sent kind of like a so what my approach, you know,
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me say this. What Squarespace will do when you go through the suite is it'll be your name, like Kevin at jointair.group.
okay. This my email.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you already have that set
You
up.
sent me something to that email, remember?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Okay. Never
Yeah.
mind. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so you could do that on your own with Google and then have a separate website if you want to. But Squarespace does connect it.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Enough with a free commercial. Sorry, I just thought about that.
Yeah, you sent me something to that email.
Oh gosh, I'm terrible. You know what? I bet I thought that you had some kind of awesome other email provider that I didn't know about. Because I don't think I connected
Yeah, yeah.
that together. I don't even know if I knew that was your business name for a while.
You probably didn't. Because I don't think I ever told you.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, mine is not Worship Leader Hangout.
What is it?
The business name is Buckland Media.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
D-
Worship Leader Hangout is a part of Buckland Media because I
DBA.
do other stuff. Yeah. That's the DBA is Buckland Media.
Okay. Gotcha.
Worship Leader Hangout is just a part of it.
Okay.
As a
Cool.
one of the things we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's why we're not doing podcasts every week because there's other things that happen.
Right.
Other videos to edit.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
I like it.
All right, so enough of that. So you reach out to the churches. How many churches do you reach out to?
Well, right now, like if I'm about to end a project
Yeah.
and I need to take something on, I'll reach out to
A handful.
a handful.
And do you already know or have some kind of insight that they need somebody, or are you just reaching out?
Sometimes I have insight because sometimes they pursue me because they know that I've been helping a lot of different ones. Something that I use also is like Indeed or these jobs.
Oh, really?
And I'll look in my area and I'll see who's looking for something, and then I'll kind of send a email or
Have you had any that have said, no, we want somebody here that's
yeah,
completely
absolutely.
bought
Yeah.
into our church and not doing other things?
Yeah, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fine.
yeah, fine.
It's like,
Bought in,
whatever.
bought in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I am full-time in my church,
Yeah.
and I'm bought into the vision here, and I don't have any plans to do what you're doing, but
Yeah.
But I do sort of have a side, with Worship Leader Hangout. We provide
Yeah.
information and things for
Absolutely.
other people. So it is.
And then you go to all these churches and
Well, I'm learning from them
Yeah.
as much as I'm providing content for people to learn from
Yeah.
them as well. And it's not to help them out by any means. I mean, there's only been one or two times where I've said, "Have you tried it this way?"
got you.
Because most of the time I'm like, "How do you do that?"
Right.
Like, "Oh wait, show me that."
Got
Like when I actually had the keyboardist message me yesterday, and he said we were just catching up, and he's like, "So, did I see that you guys may have been inspired by the stage design, this and that?" And this? Your ego wants to say, "No, man, I thought of that all by myself." But I'm like, absolutely, y'all inspired
right.
me. Like that's
Yeah.
why I go to these
Got
other
ya,
churches.
got ya.
Like I want to be inspired
Yeah.
by what I see,
Yeah.
and make my place better.
Yeah, I love it.
So that's where this came from. Yeah. So this might actually turn into a stage design one day.
I like it. I want one in my bedroom.
You want to make one? Mm-hmm. You should
For
make
my
one.
bedroom.
They're
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
But okay, so then maybe the next step in that process is just kind of starting on, and like probably similar to other things. But the church knows you're more or less temporary.
And I try to over communicate that.
Yeah.
And sometimes like I have to communicate that just, hey guys, because
And you're communicating that not only to your team there, but also like the leadership, like.
well, I don't communicate it so much to the team, but to the leadership.
Okay.
Because in some cases when I go in,
The team knows, but
Yeah.
you need to keep talking to the leadership. Like,
Yeah.
hey,
yeah, 'cause-
where's Sally?
exactly.
Where's Joe? They need
'Cause
to.
sometimes they'll be like, hey, we have a new worship leader. And I'm like, well, I am. You know what I'm saying? It can be tricky,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm feeling this role, but I'm not. You need to continue this the search. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I just know that next girl or guy is just gonna have to be really good to fill your shoes.
They're gonna be good.
And they probably feel that way too, and feel like it's impossible, but it's not impossible.
I think one of the most important things to do when you're a leader is to duplicate yourself or multiply Sally or John. So, like when I got there's a member who had never led, never sang.
Really? Okay.
Actually, the pastor's wife.
Oh, okay. And you got them to.
I was like, I could tell she had a gift. I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
okay, you're actually going to sing this verse on this song? Panic. And I'm like, no, yes, you're going to sing. You have no choice.
Wow. Don't give them a choice.
Yeah, and now they're just killing, man.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
But
how
it
I start
takes,
people out, like trying a verse or something
Yeah.
here or there.
it takes leaders seeing a gift, seeing potential, and just multiplying that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Was it John Maxwell? There's a book. It's the 5 levels of leadership.
So I read
I
that
think
book.
is it John Maxwell?
Yep.
And
He has so many leadership books.
oh yeah, I mean countless. But
Yeah.
the 5 levels that really hit me as far as like who you are to all these different people. You're not, when you're a level 5 leader, you're not necessarily a level 5 with everybody, because you might just barely have. I think the first level is you're called the worship leader, so they just respect you just because of a title. It's that title leadership. It's like, well, okay, he's the leader. He must be, I guess, that they call him the worship leader. So that's all the respect I have for him. But then it levels up from there. And when you're a level 5, you are leading people that are developing leaders. I'm pretty sure that's right. When you're a level 4, you're leading people that are becoming leaders. Like the people that you're leading are becoming leaders.
Right.
But then when you're a level 5 is when those leaders are leading leaders, or when they're developing leaders.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool. Number 3, I think, is like relationship. Like when you built that, like a relationship with them.
Right.
Anyway, it's a good book. So read that if you want to be a worship leader or whatever else you are. But yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Have you got to the point where you've been real deep in the church and then moved on? Like, has that happened yet?
Yeah.
Oh, it has?
Yes. Yeah.
Was it sad?
It was, but when you build those relationships, you still keep them even though you're gone.
Yeah.
So, and like I got a call from one pastor that's like, "Hey, can you come and lead for our anniversary?"
Oh,
But yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's really neat, man. Yeah, that's a big world.
yeah.
Before we end the podcast, though, I don't want to not talk about it, but you are a songwriter as well.
Yeah.
And working on a project right now.
Yeah.
When is that coming out?
This year.
We'll just say this year?
Yeah.
It's August right now as we speak. Middle August. So.
Let's say October, November.
Really?
I'm waiting for somebody to release something first, and I'm releasing something like a
Oh, is this somebody's like somebody?
Yeah.
Somebody?
yeah, like somebody.
Like Maverick City or somebody? Who are you waiting on? Can you say who you're waiting on?
I don't know if it's supposed to be
Oh.
known
Okay.
that it's coming out.
Gospel artist?
Yeah.
You don't have to say.
I don't know if they're gonna do a Beyonce on them. You know,
Oh.
you know what I'm saying? How she just drops her stuff. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. It's not.
Well,
It's not
hopefully it won't
advertised
be
yet.
Beyonce coming
Right.
in on them horses, and
Chariots.
I don't even want to go there. I actually would listen to a whole podcast about her latest album and how satanic it is and this and that.
Really?
It's really bad, man.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. I'm not afraid to say that.
Wow.
Because, we don't need to be filling our hearts and minds with that
Right.
stuff. Anyway, tangent. That's cool, though. So sometime late fall,
Yeah.
hopefully. Early
Let's see,
winter.
October. I'm gonna have it ready,
Yeah.
but I'm waiting
just
for
gonna
it. Yes. And then when that one's done, I'll, give it a few weeks.
Yeah.
And then I'm,
Because you don't want to be like, you know what? I don't know when they're going to do it. I'm just going to. And they
Right.
just had dropped it.
Exactly. I think I did that when I did my first one. I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
oh crap.
Nobody's going to listen to it now.
Right.
Because you do need a dry season.
Yeah, you do. I feel like.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a producer,
Yeah.
so.
I feel like,
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. I'm
Thanks,
excited to
man.
hear it.
Yeah.
I've only heard maybe a tiny sliver of some of it that you.
Really?
Some of it you done on Instagram.
Okay, yeah.
Some of your practice sessions. And then you sent me. I think you sent me one little sliver of something one
Okay.
time. Anyway,
Cool.
That's cool. I'm excited about it.
I am too.
I'll listen to it like crazy.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that's cool. What's it? Can you say what it's called yet or no?
I don't know actually.
Oh, you don't have the title, main title for it. Do you have the art? Oh, okay. So you still
Yeah.
got time.
I gotta get the photos done and then yeah.
Gotcha. Still got a little bit of
Yep.
time.
Little
So
bit of time.
that means I still have time to be on it.
That's right.
I don't. Maybe 2 or 3 albums from now I can
Yeah. Let's do it.
I can come in on it.
Yeah. Write a song. We can write a song together.
Let's do it. Maybe in a video.
Maybe. Hey.
Maybe we've already talked about it. That's why we said that.
Maybe.
But that's cool, man. Well, it's been great to have you on the podcast.
Man, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. And if you are not a subscriber and for some reason you clicked on this because you're interested and you got this far, thank you so much for subscribing. We are on everywhere you listen to podcasts as well, if you happen to be on YouTube right now. So we would love your subscription if you want to be a part of this, whatever this is, the Worship Leader Hangout world. We do piano tutorials, behind the scenes, stage design video. Like there's all kinds of stuff that we talk about here. But it's been an honor to have you on the podcast for real.
Yes, I'm honored to have been on the podcast. So first guest.
Yeah, he seriously is the
didn't know
first
that.
guest. So it's really
Yeah.
cool. A lot of big shoes to fill, but he fills them just fine.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, maybe we'll have you back. And I want David to be on.
I would
next
love
time.
to meet him.
That would be really cool. To
Yes.
have a he
Yeah.
he really likes to have like a subject to talk
Got
about.
you.
Which that's why kind of keeping that trend with you is just something to
Right.
really grab onto, not
Right.
just useless banter. And so maybe we can come up with something, some kind of subject or topic, and
Yeah.
get your take on it
Yeah.
as well as his. But
Yeah.
I'm pointing here because he's normally on the computer.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening. If you're on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you may be, and remember that great worship leaders are always learning. We'll see you next time.
Great.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, man.
That was awesome.
It was awesome.